right, ladies and gentlemen, really quick, I just want to tell you about one of our fantastic sponsors, and that is Soldier Girl Coffee Company. So if you are watching the video, you can definitely check out the screen share here. I am on our website, and you can go to affiliates, or this will be changing to sponsors soon, and click on Soldier Girl Coffee. As it says on the website, Soldier Girl Coffee is a veteran-owned company. They definitely provide the absolute best coffee I've ever had. It definitely has the pick-me-up that I need in the morning. If we check out her website, of course, down in the right-hand corner, you can definitely chat with her. You can get exclusive discounts she offers to our listeners just by putting your email address in the box on the website. As you can see right here, she has French vanilla cream, 100% Colombian, snickerdoodle Hawaiian hazelnut, and she offers regular as well as CBD-infused coffee. So be sure to go and check out her website. Of course, you can get there by going to our website at businessandbrewshow.com/soldier-girl-coffee, or you can just click the link in the show notes and it'll take you right here. You click on view products and it takes you over to shop around. She even has a little bit of merch. I know when I ordered my bag of Colombian roast, I really enjoy Colombian roast, and she has the best Colombian roast that I have ever had. And of course is a veteran-owned business, but I got a sticker as well as a thank you note. So I really enjoyed that. So now I have my very own Soldier Girl coffee mug that I can drink my Soldier Girl coffee out of. So once again, right now, exclusive discounts just for our listeners. Everybody drinks coffee, whether you're a veteran or a business owner. You're going to need it. You're going to need it for your staff. You're going to need it for your break room. You're going to need it for your house. So go ahead right now, click the link in the description, in the show notes, right here, right now, and go get some Soldier Girl coffee today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited and absolutely have to tell you about a phenomenal way to build your website and keep it up to date. My name is Ryan Smeltz, host of the Business and Brews Show and co-host of Veteran Talk Show. And if you are watching this, I want you to pay close attention to my screen share. This is the website of the Business and Brews Show. And the way I am talking about keeping your website, building it, getting it up to date, and having it managed is by Online Rob. So Rob is absolutely phenomenal. And what I absolutely love about this is he was able to customize the website exactly how I asked him. So as you can see, the homepage has a ton of different pictures from different episodes. Of course, here on the episodes page, you're able to listen on your favorite platform, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio Public, iHeartRadio, or Castbox. You can connect with us, of course, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Listen to the 5 most recent episodes right here on the website. And of course, you can find our sponsors such as Soldier Girl Coffee and, of course, Online Rob. So the best thing about this is, as you can see on my screen, if you're watching, Online Rob is a veteran-owned small business. He will design, build, and manage the entire website for you. That comes with free unlimited updates, a domain name, your business email, and a logo if you need it. All included for our listeners is only $2.99 per year. As it says right on the screen, there are absolutely no contracts and no hidden fees. I handed this to him. He had it back within a very short amount of time. And anytime I need an update or have a question, he is there to help out. So I strongly encourage you, once again, for our listeners, you can go to businessandbrewshow.com/online-rob, or you can click on the link in the show notes. If you are not watching the video version, the link is definitely in the show notes. Be sure to check out our website. I'm super happy with his work. I'm really excited that I no longer have to figure out where to get an SSL, how to install it. I don't have to install the pixel for my Facebook ads. I don't have to manage any of the analytical tools such as Google Analytics, and I don't have to figure out how to connect the domain or set up a business email. He handles all of that for me for the low price of $2.99 per year. So once again, for our listeners, Online Rob offering this exclusive deal. Be sure to go check it out. Make sure when you fill out the form, you put that you heard about him from us in the How Did You Hear About Us box. Business and Brews Show or Veteran Talk Show. Of course, you can always use my name, Ryan Smeltz. And no longer, as a business owner, will you have to build and manage your own website. Have Online Rob do it for you. Take advantage of this exclusive deal, only $2.99 per year. Best of all, he can handle everything from, of course, a podcast to an e-commerce site. No matter what kind of business you run, Online Rob can handle it for you. So go right now, click on the link, fill out the form, take advantage of this exclusive offer, and be sure to put the show name in his How Did You Hear About Us box. Now, let's get back to the show.
Welcome to the Business and Brews podcast, where our mission is to highlight local businesses and shed light on different industries.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Business and Brews Show. My name is Ryan Smeltz, and today I am super excited. I have Nicky with me, Nicky is actually in the UK. So, Nicky, really quickly, tell us who you are and what you do.
First of all, mate, thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me on. So yeah, I'm Nicky Morris. I'm from the UK, London, based in London, and I'm a coach for veterans. So yeah,
Yeah,
30,
nice.
34 next month, 2 kids, and yeah, married.
Awesome, man. A little family going and just cruising right along.
Yeah.
So I know we were talking beforehand, and you actually mentioned you were in the military. So what I do with veterans, just to kind of establish a basis, and also to give us a little peek into the world of veterans, to kind of take us back. So I'm curious, what you did in the military. I guess for you, which military you were in, a little bit about that, and then up to your transition out of the military.
Okay, so you want the beginning of the when I joined the military, yeah? Okay, so I'll tell you how first of all how I got into the military. So my education wasn't great. I suffered a traumatic experience at the age of 12. I lost my mum to emphysema, so I watched her pass away in the year 2000. So after that, I developed a bit of a warped mindset, and I developed a lot of hate and anger towards other people, and I got eventually led me to get kicked out of school. Went to college. They sent me to college to do stuff. Things were more hands-on. Got kicked out of there as well. So my future wasn't looking bright. But I soon realized that I've come to a crossroads, and I realized that if I don't do something about this, then it's not going to end well. So I joined the forces, joined the British Army. I spent 3 months in a place called Purbright to do my training. Went on to another place called Larkhill to do my trade training, which was artillery. And then I went to my regiment, and within months I was deployed out to Iraq. So it was pretty much soon as careers office. Within the same year I was out deployed, and I was out there for 6 months at the age of 19. And then from there deployed to Kenya for some training, because we was due to go to Afghanistan. And then in 2009, I deployed to Afghanistan. And I went to Sangin, DC, which was Helmand Province, Afghanistan. I served 6 months there. And then from there, deployed to Canada twice, done 6 weeks on the first stint, came back, and then went back and done another 3 months. And I left the British Army in 2012.
Wow, you did not waste any time in traveling the world. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I will comment and say I think it's interesting because for the listeners who don't know, in the United States, the military is kind of self-contained. So our training for deployments, even based off of location, is like JRTC down at Fort Polk in Louisiana, NTC at Fort Irwin over in California. And then I was on a DSURF mission when I was stationed at Fort Hood, where we did the training at Camp Atterbury in Indiana. So it's like we don't necessarily get that opportunity to travel to other countries for our training because it's all right here. But you got to see the world. So that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I feel pretty privileged, really, because 6 years is not really a long time compared to some. Some serve 15, 22, and I was really a field soldier. I'd like to think I was, because I didn't spend a lot of time within the barracks in the UK. I was always usually abroad. So yeah, it was a good experience.
That's awesome, man. My co-host on the Veteran Talk Show is a Marine, and he joined to travel. And the Marines go on something called Muse, which is part of the Navy. And basically that would be like getting on a boat and going around the world. And he did get assigned to a Mew, but his fleet, if you will, went to Iraq and Afghanistan. So
he joined the travel, got 2 deployments, and then stayed in North Carolina the rest of the time.
That's still, you know, he got to travel.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I'm curious because I find your story interesting. I'm sorry to hear that it starts with the loss of your mom, and I think a lot of people can empathize with that, but it kind of caused a little bit of change in attitude and behavior, and then you kind of had that point of realization. So in transitioning out of the military, how do you think your military experience really helped you move into the civilian sector?
Well, it's funny you should say that, Ryan, because it wasn't an easy transition. And so I left in 2012. And at the time, I wanted to be a personal trainer. You know, I was a fit young guy. So at the time, I thought that would be the ideal thing for me to do. I didn't know what my values was because you sort of follow the British military's values. I didn't really know myself. I didn't really have much of an identity. I just went with what I thought would work. So I started doing that. My first month's paycheck was £50. It was tough at the start. Yeah, I started to build it up, but within say a year, I lost my dad to a stroke, and I was living with him at the time. And it was a council property for you guys. It's like a government-owned property, and we have a rule over here where it can't get handed down twice. And because it was in my mum's name, it got handed down to my dad's name, and then it couldn't get handed down to me. So I ended up losing the property. Was very, very close to being homeless. It was only because a family member said you need to go to the local newspaper. So I didn't want to do that because, so you know, pride and everything. But I did it, and lo and behold, it went front page. It kind of got some traction, and I eventually got a 1-bed property out of it. But yeah, and I went down a little bit of a bad road after that, through drink and all the rest of it. A lot of partying, a lot of living the high life, or not really living the high life, but you know, a lot of partying. And I kind of went through a bit of a depression stage. But through the power of self-development and really working on myself for a number of years, I managed to pull myself out of that. So, but it really just felt tough because lack of identity, again, like I didn't know myself. And this is why I'm trying to help veterans now, is because, you know, a lot of us can feel directionless, especially after the transition stage.
Yeah, so I'm definitely interested because now, you know, you talked a little bit about how you were looking at personal training, which is a form of coaching, and now, you know, you coach veterans. So I'm curious how you kind of came up with the idea, and you know, what you decided the purpose of your business was going to be.
Yeah, so it didn't come easy and it didn't come quick. Like I said, it was really about me. I knew that I'm a firm believer that everything that happens to us in life happens for us, not to us. And if I'd have never lost my father, or I'd lost my house, I probably wouldn't be here doing this, what I'm doing now. But rewinding, I went on a self-development journey, developed my own mindset to be able to really, really regain my identity. And I was working in a job, and I was earning not bad money. I ended up being a crane operator, which was, you know, £52,000 a year. And I had money coming in. I had a beautiful family, and everything should have been running smoothly, but still something was missing. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't contributing. I had done all this self-development, and I'd worked on myself to the point where I'd managed to really reprogram my mind. But I just felt like unfulfilled. I felt flat. So then I ended up becoming a level 4 accredited coach with an NLP certification, soon to be an NLP master practitioner. So yeah, and then this is where I just come up with the idea, and I thought, you know, these veterans, I'm sure there's many veterans out there like how I was. So, and I know the power of us guys, because, you know, I've served with with veterans or soldiers. So I know we've all got the potential to have an inspired life and an empowering life, but we just end up feeling a little bit lost. And I really wished I wanted to become the person that I stumbled across 5 years ago, you know? So this is really why I started to do this.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So whenever you do encounter veterans, well, let me ask you another question, because I talked to Ricky Johnson on the Veteran Talk Show, and then for a period he did a few episodes called Redemption with Ricky Johnson. So very, very close to kind of what you do, a lot more addiction recovery than what you're talking about, but he did a little bit of outreach in that. So excuse me, basically connecting with those people in a bad situation and working with organizations to get them put into a better place, you know, removing them from that negative environment. So I'm curious how you go about your outreach, and when you do encounter veterans that kind of fit the profile for someone you can help, how do you go about you know, taking them along the steps to help
Yeah.
themselves?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of confusion around what coaching is. I don't know if some people relate it whether to counseling. We're not counselors, we're not therapists. We're essentially coaches, coaches is really about asking thought-provoking questions and allowing us to facilitate the session to dive within the client's subconscious mind to bring to the surface whatever it is that's troubling them, whatever it is, if they lack direction, then it's really just bringing things to the surface. But I knew working with veterans that PTSD might come into play, and like I said, I'm not a therapist, but I've collaborated with another woman called Karina Karan, and she is you know, she's got CPD, she's got NLP, she's a counselor, she's a therapist. So I wanted to cater for just the guys that are stuck, unfulfilled, and I've catered for the ones that sort of suffer with PTSD, because PTSD can hold us back, but once removed, once released, it's freeing, right? And it can just allow you to sort of think more forward. I'm saying, you know, counseling and therapy has got its place, and they all serve their purpose, but it's very much about the past. Although we should be proud of what we've done, and we should be you should be happy with what we've done, it's very much about, let's get you to where it is you want to be. Let's discover your mission, let's discover your purpose, something that's going to give you meaning. Something that I've studied quite intensively, and I don't know if you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's essentially all our human needs, and it goes off in 5 levels. So you've got physiological, which is the ground, which is basically the bottom level. Then we have safety, and we have love and belonging, esteem, and then self-actualization. And within those levels, you've got different human needs. So love and belonging is a huge one for us in the forces, right? Because we've got that brotherhood, sisterhood. We've got safety because we've got a roof over our head. We're getting 3 square meals a day. You go up a level, we've got confidence, self-esteem. You go up to self-actualization. Depending on your rank, you're going to have problem solving and creativity. When you leave the forces, you lose your love and belonging pretty much straight away. This is why, and then you feel isolated, which then can make you lose your confidence and your self-esteem. If you're going into a 9-to-5 job, or you're just clock watching, if you go to a job and you're clock watching, chances are you're not problem solving or getting creative. So then you're going to feel unfulfilled. And this is exactly what happened with me. I felt internal voids. So I was using external things to fulfill those voids. And this is the message I'm really trying to get out is, once you discover your values and you discover your purpose, external things don't matter, because you feel happy within, and it all starts within. And this is really the message I'm trying to get out to the veteran community, is that we need to live life by our highest values and discover what it is that makes us tick, and then structure our life in that direction, so we can achieve that thing.
Awesome, man. It
Sorry,
sounds
I
like
just went down a
yeah,
bit of a
no,
rabbit hole.
no, I like it, and I could be wrong, but I've heard. I don't know if you've heard of him, but I've heard Jordan Peterson talk about the hierarchy of needs before.
Mm.
I was really kind of understanding what you were saying there. Um, so I know with everything that's been going on in the world, you know, COVID and the economy now. I'm curious, when COVID hit, how did that affect your business and what you had going on, and what did you do to kind of pivot or overcome those challenges?
Well, to be honest, because everything I do is online, it doesn't really affect me personally. And we know from the COVID, there's businesses that have struggled, and then there's business that have thrived. There's many businesses that have had to convert to the online space. So there was no real difference, you know. Apart from, well, no, there wasn't. If I'm honest, there wasn't no more. Yeah, there wasn't. There really wasn't. If I'm thinking about it now, I'm trying to think, did I have more time? But no, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Apart
Yeah,
from being home and having to structure your life around the kids, because the kids are off. So it's really finding that work-life balance. That's probably the only thing I can think of right now.
yeah. I talked to Yamil Cruz. He's a Marine veteran in California that does investments and stuff like that. And he said something similar because his business and the company he works with was already set up to operate fully online. So it was really just taking advantage of the tools that they had.
And I think it made people realize. I mean, I don't. Do you have furlough in the US? Did you have furlough? You know, government loans and stuff like that.
A little bit. We what did they call it? Uh, they called it something else, but yeah, they sent out a few checks, and then they also had I think there was some unemployment benefits for people who lost their jobs due to COVID.
Yeah, yeah. So in the UK, people got paid what was called furlough money, and I think that made people realise that it. First of all, it gave people time to reflect and think. Like, this is how busy have I actually been, and then to have time with their family. And not only that, they was getting paid for it. So it's the first time they've ever experienced passive income because they're not working and they were sitting at home and then they was getting paid for it. And this is why so many of them are struggling to go back, don't want to go back to work. And it's also a lot of people have had career changes because they've realized that isn't what they wanted to do. You know, they've had a chance to reflect on life. So yeah, it's, yeah, crazy times right now, mate.
I think that's so important what you just talked about, where people are doing something, you know, and then they get put in a position where they don't necessarily have to worry about money. And all of a sudden, when that money runs out, they realize, oh, I didn't actually like what I was doing. So I need to find something I enjoy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's
for
crazy.
sure.
So when you talk to veterans, well, first of all, I'm curious. Do you run into more? They're in the service and transitioning out, or do you deal primarily more with veterans who are already out?
It's already out at the minute. I am aiming to target before they leave because, you know, if I say this in a sense, like catch them before they fall, in a sense, you know, because if we go back to the human needs, if I can somehow, and I'm in the process of getting creative about trying to create something so that can help them, that can sort of cover, you know, sort of fulfill their needs before, soon as they leave, so they don't fall into this trap of just ending up directionless, you know. Even if it's a course that's around about values and mindset and purpose and etc., it should serve them. So yeah, at the minute it's just the guys, like veterans that have been out a while. But it's soon to be that I want to target really the guys that before they leave.
Yeah. So when you do talk to these veterans, how do you go about determining or helping them determine if they're actually doing something they care about or not?
So what I do is first thing I do, so I'll speak to them and I'll see if like we're a right fit for each other first of all, because I don't know their current situation. So it's essentially just a quick call just to get to know them. If it's something they don't want to proceed with, then the first session is really a deep dive, and it's really about their life at present. It is all 7 areas of your life. It's relationships, it's spirituality, it's money, it's business, it's career, it's everything. And then I'll go for a deep dive through their values. And there's many people out there that are not aware of their values. So then really it's about the client leads me. I ask the thought-provoking questions. I'll go wherever the client wants me to take them, but there's thought-provoking questions that always lead to deeper and deeper and deeper, and to the point where it's really about certain questions help them. They have many aha moments and breakthrough moments where they're like, that's it. That's it. And because if it aligns with their values, if we're living life and it's not aligned with our truest values, like you might value time, freedom, and family, but if you're working 13 hours a day, it's you're going to feel disempowered, which then causes all sorts of mental health problems. But if they discover something, because essentially if they don't actually know what it is, they just feel lost. But once they've got that thing, they may still have to work 12 hours a day or the 8 hours a day, but they've got that thing to work towards. It gives them meaning. And then we help them structure their life so they can go and attain that thing.
Awesome, man. I really, just listening to you can tell that not only have you put in the time and energy to know and understand how this works, but to really dedicate yourself to helping the people that you talk to. So I guess my next question is, how do you know, or how does someone know when your relationship with them comes to an end? Like what is the, hey, we accomplished it, we're finished?
So my programs run off, they're 12-week programs. Well, they're not essentially a program because a program is structured, but it's a journey. And yeah, so it's just once they get to the 12 weeks, it obviously essentially ends, but there's a lot that's covered within that 12 weeks. Like it's really about it. Again, it depends where the client is at the time. Some clients may come to you like, I know what it is I want. I've just got these mindset barriers. I know what it is I want, but I just feel like something's holding me back. And it might be beliefs, it might be confidence issues, it could be many things. So it's really structured, and that's what that first call is about. It's to like, where are you at? Right, you're here. What do you want from me? Right, I want this. Okay, let's tailor make this thing for you, because I've got many tools, techniques, and methods in my toolbox, shall I say? So then I can tailor make it to the client.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I've never really, I have business coaches. I've never participated in a coaching program per se. So that definitely gives me a little bit of a peek under the hood.
Yeah, and it's funny you should say that, because I was speaking earlier and said a journalist. I was speaking to a journalist yesterday, and she said, "Are you more like, come on, get it done? Is it?" I said, "It's nothing like that. I'm not a basketball coach. I'm not a football coach or anything like that. It's literally, it's a safe environment where they can be themselves, and it's really about deep diving and in setting goals and breaking down barriers, mental barriers, and beliefs that have probably been triggered from when you was like 5 years old, and you don't realize it's within the subconscious mind and it's just hiding there. But it's really about bringing it to the surface and breaking them barriers, and so they can go off and live an inspired, empowering life, really.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I'm really glad you're doing this. Um, now I want to transition into the 4 questions that we've had brewing. I know I gave you a heads up, so hopefully I don't catch you too off guard. But the first one is pretty simple. I know you said you got a wife and 2 kids, and you've got your business just trucking right along. But Nicky, whenever you are not working super hard to help the veteran community, what do you like to do for fun?
Every Sunday, well, I take probably most of the day off. I like to spend Sunday night to reflect really what's going to be happening for the following week. But the highlight of my day on a Sunday is there's a forest that's just behind us, and it's just us as a family, and we just go off and we walk, and there's a little cafe there. We go and have a coffee, and then we take a few hours stroll, 2-3 hours, and then we come back, and that's really, yeah, that's goodness. That's good for me.
Yeah, I like coffee too, so that
Yeah, me too.
that's right up my alley. Um, so I I'm a little curious because and I might get with you afterwards because I do 5 pieces of content for each episode, and I'd love to include possibly with those photos
Yeah.
some of where you're at, or maybe that forest. I don't know. But like what's the weather like this time of year? Because if you're walking for 2 or 3 hours, I feel like it's okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, we're used to it over here. It's never that nice, really. It's the only time you get nice weather is around about June, July, or August. But yeah, it's okay. It's not cold, but it's usually wet anyway, so we're just used to that.
Okay. Uh, so the second question is, which I'm kind of excited for your answer here. What book are you currently reading?
Second time, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
And that's why I'm excited, because I've never heard of that one, and I suspected as much.
You've never heard of it?
No.
Go read it, mate. Honestly, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I'll do it. You're on it
Have
for
you
the
never heard of
second.
it? Have you
Huh?
never heard of Dr. Joe? Have you never heard of Dr. Joe?
No, I don't think so.
No, he's got another book out as well, and I'm trying to think. I can't remember what that's called, but I've heard that's a really good book.
Um, so let's see. I try not to mention the same book every single time, but the the marshmallow test is one of my favorites. So it's a book written based off of the marshmallow test, where they take the kids in the room, sit them down, and they say, here's a marshmallow. You can have this one right now, or you can wait. And if you don't eat it, then I'll give you another one later. And they sit them in the room, and then they observe them. And the kids are obviously focused on either instant gratification, I'm going to go ahead and eat this marshmallow, or what can I do to wait? And then they have to fight that urge to eat it. And it goes over all the different things. Like, one girl sits on her hands, another one gets up and like walks into the corner and starts counting, like facing away from it. Another one covers it. Like, it's crazy. It's a fantastic book, but that's what it's about: removing yourself from the microwave attitude of society of wanting things right now, and learning how delayed gratification can really help.
This is it, and funny you should say that, because if we talk about mission and purpose and fulfillment, if we've got that thing that we're really setting our eye onto, then we're willing to hold off on anything external to give us a quick fix. Because if that thing is really important to us, if we've really got meaning, I say this, if we've got meaning, we've got less distractions. Because it's like, if we Think and Grow Rich, you can think about that book. It's about your purpose, your chief aim, and that Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza is probably a really, 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 really updated version of that. But he goes into the science behind it, and you just got to read it. It goes deep. I could start talking about atoms and molecules and all the rest of it, but it really goes deep and talks about the energy behind everything and stuff like that. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to read that. That's awesome. So
Definitely.
now for possibly the difficult question. If you could have a beer with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I knew this one would get me. The first person that's come to my mind, Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
Bob Proctor. Yeah, Bob Proctor. I don't know why. He's just the first. I thought maybe because he's just recently passed away. God bless his soul. But yeah, he's the first person that's really come to my mind. I think because he was one of the first people I come across when I started my self-development journey, and he really started to plant seeds in my mind, and I started to change the way I thought. So yeah, Bob Proctor.
I support that choice. That, that's awesome. So the last question, Nikki, and the most important question, is it whether someone wants to get in touch with you, talk about coaching options, better themselves, and take advantage of your help, or maybe they want to start a similar coaching business. Where can people find you?
So for Facebook is under Nicky Morris. I run a Facebook community which is called the Empowered Veterans Group. You're welcome to go and join, Ryan, if you want to join, mate. It's free to anyone if you're just a veteran and you want to feel empowered. I put content out in there most days. I've got videos in there that I put out myself, and I've also on Instagram. It's under veteran_coach. Also under LinkedIn is under Nicky Morris. But my website is Nicky Morris, the Veteran Coach. If you go on there, there is a free ebook if you want to download that. It's called The Empowered Veteran, and it's essentially tips to help you regain your identity and help you discover your life's mission after service. So yeah.
That's awesome. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Nikki's website will be in the show notes. Nikki, I just want to say thanks for hopping on, man. I know there's a huge time difference, so I really appreciate you making this work and jumping on the call with me.
Thanks for having me, mate. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead and hang out for a second afterwards after I hit stop.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, now this week this month more than ever, it's important to leave a 5-star review. So far, every single person I've talked to is a veteran working to help other veterans. Those 5 stars get us to the top of the list so other people can hear this content and everyone can know what Brett and Nikki here and Yamil and Nick from the FSG episode are doing to help either employ or support veterans in the veteran community. So leave us a 5-star review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and most importantly, tell your friends to subscribe as well. And I will see you on the next episode of Business and Brews.
This has been the Business and Brews Show, hosted by yours truly, Ryan Smeltz. Edited and produced by Ryan